Thanks for that, Jess. So remember the word is save lives. And remember that the framework convention objective is to reduce the death and disease associated with tobacco products. It's not simply to actually have people no longer smoking. So to go that extra mile, we've got to ask the question, what are the major diseases that actually drive the deaths from tobacco? And there are many. Of course, we know about COPD and cardiovascular and even tuberculosis. But lung cancer plays a particular role, and it accounts for almost a quarter of all the 8 million deaths that are caused by tobacco. When I started the work on the Framework Convention, and we're talking about 1998, we assumed at the time that the death rates then, which were horrific, 5 year survival of under 10%, would probably remain like that for many years. Well, we're wrong. We are starting to see the innovation of the pharmaceutical industry turning stage 4 lung cancer into survivable beyond 10 years. We're starting to see that instead of predicting a survival rate of under 10%, over the next 20 years, maybe less, we'll be able to get to levels where we're now at with breast cancer, which are in excess of 90% survival at 5 years. So that has an enormous transformative effect on meeting that objective of saving lives, because if you're going to save the lives, many of the people who are going to get lung cancer over the next few years, even if they switch, will have got it from their past smoking habit over the last 20 years. So giving an emphasis to the exciting, critical innovation going on in the lung cancer world does a few things. First, it signals that the innovation we're seeing is predominantly in developed countries. There are some extraordinary examples in African countries, particularly in Zambia and Kenya, where pharmaceutical companies are looking at how they can accelerate the new types of immunotherapy and related drugs for lung cancer and other diseases related to tobacco faster than they did in the West. I remain very bullish and very optimistic that what we saw for AIDS, which was a death sentence until we got antiretroviral therapy for developing countries, will soon start happening in the area of lung and other forms of cancer, meaning that these terrible cancers will be able to be managed as chronic diseases. Combine that with tobacco harm reduction and better cessation, and we may very well be off by orders of magnitude in terms of underestimating the 100 million. Hope we are.